See, everybody's used to me wearing a suit. So sometimes, Monday through Saturday, what I would do, take off my glasses, I throw in a cap, depending on what city I was in. So I would always be mindful of what clique was wearing and which group was wearing, what hat I could wear, and how to wear the brim. And I throw in a hoodie. All it would take, especially in the wintertime, and by the time I put on my hoodie and took off my glasses, and by the time I threw it on like this, and I zipped it all the way up, you'd be amazed. I could stand right next to people all over the place, on the corner, just chilling. Sometimes even listening to what church folks say Monday through Saturday. Sometimes listening to what church folks say about their pastor. And just sitting there chilling, and I'm there the whole time. And it would amaze me. Once I took off the glasses and threw on the hoodie, there would even be people who would say, I think I saw Reverend Grimes. Somebody up in Durham once said, I think I saw Reverend Grimes wearing a hoodie. And they said, Reverend Grimes wouldn't wear no hoodie. He wouldn't wear nothing like that. And I'm listening to them talk about Reverend Grimes, and I'm sitting there. I heard some former students of mine even say, yeah, Reverend Grimes, I think, was wearing a hoodie and some Timbs. They say, he wouldn't wear no hoodie and Timbs, and there I am, just shaking my head. And then, of course, I could wear this here and wear this in Chicago, but honestly, the way we plan, I probably wouldn't wear that anywhere. But then, if I'm on the West Coast, I can't wear a Carolina hat because I don't want to offend sensibilities on the West Coast. So then I'll throw on something else if I'm in another place and I'm just chilling on the corner, just chilling, people walking right past me. I would wave at people that I would know, and what would amaze me, someone would walk right past me. And the things that I would hear and the things that would be revealed helped me preach a certain way. It's amazing what happens whenever people expect one thing, and then it turns out that the form that God's work takes is in a different presentation. And so it occurred to me, this is why Jesus would walk around the way that he does. This is why God would take this form. Because we, all of us as human beings, behave a certain way when we don't think God is watching, but God is always watching. People behave a certain way when they think they can be on their so-called good behavior, not understanding God sees and knows everything. And so, if somebody were asking me, what part of the Bible should I read to understand why God moves incognito? Then I would say the Gospel of Luke. Because then you see it's what I call black hoodie Jesus. It's Wu-Tang camo pants Timberland Jesus. It's scratch off Jesus. It's Jesus on the corner with Black and Miles and Dutch Masters who knows everything that's going on the block. It's Jesus in the hood around people, understanding how people are. He knows what's going on Wall Street. He's aware of what's going on downtown, but he's on the corner in the earth with the people. He understands people working at factories. He understands people who are in the unemployment line. He understands people who got 3 jobs trying to put food on the table. He understands people who will never see a limousine except on TV. It's Jesus on the ground. It's where we read about him eating with sinners the most, and people getting mad that he eats with sinners. The Son of God with sinners? They call him a glutton because he has wine on the table so often. It's in the Gospel of Luke that we read about this. That even the demons get scared, not because he's levitating above the ground, not because he's walking on water. In Luke, they're scared because he walks in the synagogue and he's always on the corner. He's always in the graveyards. He's hanging out. It's God hanging out with us. In fact, Luke describes this about Jesus whenever he says on one occasion, Jesus was going to the house of a leader of the Pharisees to eat a meal. And they were watching him, for it was the Sabbath, and in front of him there was a man who had edema. There was a man who had an illness. And Jesus asked the experts in the law and the Pharisees, is it lawful to cure people on the Sabbath or not?